Why don't you give me a sign?
This is Corinna Jane.
The leaves are trailing on that shore. It's not your problem, it's mine.
With her brand new single, Give Me a Sign.
While the world still spins,
As featured on BBC Introducing.
it's just the way it's gotta be. Give me a sign about the things that we don't know. Why don't you give me a sign?
Corinna Jane, Give Me a Sign. Out now.
It's not your problem, it's mine.
I need to tell you something. I'm leaving you and your mother.
Hello, I'm Sophia Jessica, and welcome to the Fan Carpet.
How are you? How's everything
Good,
going?
man, yeah. Everything's going really well, man. Everything's going really well.
Yeah? Cool. That's good. So I've been looking forward to speaking to you for a while. So if we go back to the beginning, was there a defining moment for you to get into the film industry?
To the film industry. Oh God, Jesus. Wow. I get you know what? I reckon like I grew up like Jim Carrey. I loved Jim Carrey when I was like, I guess when I was like, I must have been 14, 15 when he was doing like, when he had that run of like sort of Ace Ventura 2, Batman Forever, The Mask, you know, all those sort of like Liar Liar. It just that got me obsessed with movies. And then I was watching like, So yeah, I guess that was sort of. I don't think I ever planned to go into movies like that. I just kind of just wanted to be an actor, and I didn't really know what journey to take. So I ended up doing a lot of theatre, but film as well. So it's kind of worked out quite even really.
Okay, awesome. So, so what was it about I'm Not in Love that enticed you to get involved to bring Rob to life?
Well, I think obviously I knew Cole because we'd done a film before, and he directed a short that I wrote as well. So he wanted to originally, but it was quite a while ago. He wanted the character was around sort of my age now, but I was obviously younger. But he wanted me to read and sort of test it out, and I kept saying, "Why can't I do this? This is ridiculous. I can do this. This is fine." And he was like, "No, you're too young." Anyway, 5 years later, I'm sort of the right age for it. So I'd read it, and then we kind of worked the dialogue, so it worked with me and worked the character and that stuff. And then so it was just quite an organic process that they'd been working on for years, and I just kind of got involved, and and that was it. I like working with Cole.
Awesome. How do you relate to Rob?
How do I relate to Rob? Oh God. I mean, I guess I can be quite indecisive. I think, he's quite indecisive. I don't know. And then apart from that, not many ways. I think he's very different from me. I don't know. I don't know. It's a weird one, that.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Do you have any memories from filming that will stick with you for the rest of your career? Because obviously you work with a great crop of British talent in the film.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
must have been a riot.
No, it was great. We had the guy who plays John, who's the Scouse in it. He's my actual best mate. Who's he's an actor. So I always try and get mates some jobs. They're good enough. It's not like I'm just throwing them a bone, and it's not pure nepotism. So just having, and Sinead, obviously I knew Cristina. So it was just having people around you. But I think for me, because we were like producing it as well, I think it was like every day was incredible. I don't think I've ever had such a good time on a job, because you really feel like you're making a decision in every part of the movie, whether that's if problems happen, or you're carrying cameras or whatever, and you've got to move quickly, because we're such a low budget movie. Everyone had to chip in, and sort of at the end of the day we'd all finish and have a beer and get ready for the next day. And so the whole shoot really was just kind of this one big great experience with friends, really.
Wonderful. Yeah, there's if you spending a lot of time on a shoot. I mean, how long was the shoot?
I think it was 16 days. It was 16 days with Sundays off.
All right.
Yeah,
okay.
it was quick. It was quick, and we had a lot to do and a lot of time. I mean, you know, a lot of them are filmed in sort of one-ers and things like that. So the sort of preparation for that was the hardest thing, because you know, it's almost like a play that you're doing and you're filming it, so you got to get it right. So, but I quite like that pressure, and the people that we got in, we knew they could sort of deliver under that sort of guise of filming. But yeah, so it was a quick shoot, but I think, you know what, it's that's like a lot of films these days. They're just generally quite quick, and you just don't get time.
Yeah.
So, you know, that is what it is.
Awesome. Now, obviously, this is a rom-com, and you're recently in the interactive film, The Complex, that I absolutely loved. Do you like being able to challenge yourself and go outside of your comfort zone?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I mean, for me, that's what it's about. That's the main sort of drive for different projects. You've got to keep trying to grow, and The Complex is yeah, that was an interesting one, because obviously we've got all these different takes, and that was a very strange, but again, a very quick shoot, away from home in this sort of studios at this abandoned laboratory in Kent. And that was a really fun process, because you're kind of stretching muscles that you wouldn't normally use with all these sort of different endings and different ways that you're speaking to someone. But again, it's all about preparation. And I'm doing another one of those, actually, sort of called Quiz Night, which I start next week. But it's more sort of via Zoom and things like that, obviously, because the way things are. So yeah, so that'll be fun. That's got its own challenges in itself. So yeah, you're always looking to challenge yourself. Otherwise, you just get stale, and you know, you're not growing as an artist, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Are there any genres that you haven't done yet that you'd like to?
Well, I mean, I've done loads. I don't know. I think I've had quite a good spread of genres. I think it's just a case of I don't really know. No, I mean, nothing in particular stands out. I mean, who wouldn't want to do an action movie? I mean, I can't really see myself being cast in an action movie, but I'll probably play the mate, you know? I always said if I did a Western, like I was watching these John Ford sort of things last night, and I always said that me and my mate made a Western once, because I was like, we're never going to be in a Western. So we made one. And I always said if I was in a Western, I'd be the guy being pulled by the horse going, oh, come on, man. Oh, please let me go, man. You know, that kind of guy. I'd be like the sort of like the dweeby character rather than the cowboy. But, you know, you got to take what you can get.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that'd be fun. So are there any other aspects of the film industry that you'd like to pursue? I mean, you mentioned before that you produced this film. Is that something that you'd like to do more of?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think, yeah, I'm trying to get into directing now. So I'm working on my first feature, and that's hopefully that's next year. Yeah, and I just want to be part of it all. I love it. I love being involved in all the mechanics of how a movie works. Really, I think as you get older as an actor, depending on where you're at in your career, you know what I mean. If you're busy all the time and you're doing these massive parts all the time, and you're, you know, whoever, DiCaprio, he probably doesn't have time to do those things. But for me, I think I really want to start taking things in my own hands, and it's about finding your voice, you know. And I think I'm sort of working on a feature that hopefully I can distinguish myself as a director and a sort of producer and a writer, really. But I will always act, you know. So
wonderful.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to say anything about the feature that you're working on?
I mean, it'll be a sci-fi. I'm obsessed with sci-fi.
Okay, awesome.
I'm obsessed with sci-fi, and I watched Arrival the other day. I mean, that movie is just so good.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. But I love sci-fi, time travel, but I also love rom-coms. So I want some adult, I think. and something quite disturbing. Yeah, I'm working on the screenplay at the minute, and it's just something that I've been working on for a while. So yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that.
So like it's a passion project of sorts.
Yeah, completely. I mean, well, it's just a step in the right direction. You know, it's if you wanna start making waves in a that sort of territory, you've got to just get up and do it. Really, otherwise you're not doing anything. And I think this year, it's been weird. We've been quite stagnant, but at the same time, been quite productive. And I woke up yesterday. And I was just like, oh God, I feel like I've done nothing, man. I've done nothing all year. You must have had that. But I filmed a TV show this year for 6 months. So I have had 6 months of work, but I still feel like I've not done anything because we're all in this crazy claustrophobic bubble.
Absolutely. But things are opening up, which is a step in the right direction.
Yeah, totally.
So who inspires you in the industry?
God. I mean, I just think people who are brave, people who are put themselves out there. I mean, directors like Paul Thomas Anderson, who I met actually, and it was completely surreal because he's like my favorite director, I think. And I met him for Phantom Thread, and the part didn't make the film in the end. It wasn't in there, but it was like the boyfriend of the girl he goes off with. So I did scenes, but working with him and him kind of staring at you while you do a scene right in front of him that's pretty cool because he's made some of my favorite movies of all time. I think just anyone who keeps pushing boundaries, you see Joaquin Phoenix go and do his stuff on Joker and you're like, shit, it's good. That's really good. But yeah, anyone who's brave, who's putting themselves out there and trying to tell really good stories, whether that be, it doesn't matter whether that's comedy or drama or whatever. I think as long as they're putting themselves out there and inspiring us and entertaining us, then any of those people, they're inspiring, I think.
Absolutely. So is there a book that you're a fan of that hasn't been adapted to film or TV or Netflix yet that you'd love to be a part of?
Yes, there is. It's a trilogy of books that I found, which I won't say the name of because I'm trying to get the rights for it. So, but yeah, I read them like my mum was reading it, and she went, "Oh, I'm reading this thing, and it's like this kind of time travel romance." It's like time travel romance. But I read it, I couldn't put it down, and I ended up. She was on the second book, and I read the 3 before she'd finished the second. I got obsessed with them, and then I've read them again, and it's kind of spans all these different times, and it's set in different continents. So that's something that I think it would be a really good kind of. Have you seen Outlander?
No, it's on my list.
So it's kind of that vibe. So it's in that kind of it's in that vibe. But yeah, so that's something that maybe. But apart from that, it's something that I'd like to be in. I don't know. There's probably all these like amazing comics that I've never heard of. I just finished The Boys recently, and you're like, fucking hell, man, that's good. That's good, but I'd never heard of it, Or I've not watched the new Watchmen yet, but I want to watch that. But yeah, I mean, there's loads, isn't there? Who knows?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there's lots, and there's a new one that came out. I believe it was last week called Invincible. It's on Amazon, I think.
Oh yeah, who's in that?
It's an animated one, like it's a who's who of voice cast. It's an immense voice cast. I think
okay.
Mark Hamill's in it.
Okay, Invincible.
I think.
Oh, I'm gonna check that out then.
Yeah, it's made by the same people as The Walking Dead.
Right. Okay.
What those writers? I think it's the writers, but yeah. But yeah. Yeah. So, with the popularity of streaming services like Netflix, what do you think the future of cinema is?
I think I think it's. I don't think cinema will ever die. I was watching this thing last night, and in the 50s when the TV came out, they thought cinema was going to die because people stopped going. So what they did is they started making Ben-Hur and Spartacus and shit like this, where it's no point watching it on your tiny black and white screen. You have to go to the cinema and watch it. And I think the same is, I mean, you can watch Avengers on your 70-inch TV and it's fucking brilliant. But, I think the cinema experience is, I miss the cinema so much. I mean, that's because I'm an actor, so I'm lucky. So I get to go to the cinema in the day when no one's there. And it's just kind of like, Last Action Hero kind of vibe. It's just him by himself watching the movies. And I love that. And I think as families as well, I think the future's all right. But I mean, I'm really surprised that, Netflix don't have a Netflix cinema or Amazon don't have an Amazon cinema. I think maybe that's the way it would go. And then, I don't know, maybe if there's enough demand for Ozark season 1 to 3 to be played over 3 days, maybe that would be something that they would do. I don't know. I mean, quite crazy, but obviously I think Marvel are going to dominate. And but then you've always got you'll always have your indie cinemas. I don't think they'll ever die because I think there's so much need to see those intimate stories, and we're absolutely gutted that we can't, see our film at the cinema and have people watch it. So, but yeah, I don't think cinema will ever die. I think it's that huge escapism that we all sort of crave away from the house,
Yeah, absolutely.
It's an event.
Absolutely. I mean, the last thing that I saw in the cinema was Mulan, just before. Well, in March, just before everything locked down for the first time. That was the last thing that I saw. And and it's on Disney Plus. I haven't watched it on Disney Plus yet, but I will, because I enjoyed the film.
I went to see Bill and Ted 3.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And the Gentleman. I think that was at the start of the first, just before they closed down, maybe.
I think so,
I can't remember. Something like that. But yeah, Bill and Ted 3. I mean, we took the kids and it was great. We had a proper, family day out and they loved it, So yeah, cinema's there to stay, I think.
Yeah. Bill and Ted 3 is a good film. I enjoyed that a lot.
Good. It is good, isn't it?
Yeah, I enjoyed that a lot.
Alex Winter's a really interesting character. He does a bunch of podcasts. He's like such a insane filmmaker and a really, really intelligent guy, really articulate, and just like he just knows everything about film, lighting. Yeah. So he's a good one. If you listen to some podcasts, I think he's on. Do you like the cinematography podcast? All
right, cool.
Which is really good. It's a new one. I've got another interview because we've got another 3-way interview. So is that everything, Mark?
Yeah, I mean, the last thing I was going to ask you was what you were hoping audience would take away from I'm Not in Love when they get to see it.
I've had friends watch it who are couples, and it's uncomfortable. So I find that quite funny. I just hope they enjoy it. I hope they go, oh, that kind of makes. I think women might get an insight into how men are a little bit, for positives and negatives. I hope they laugh, and I hope they kind of feel at the end of it, oh, I think maybe they're going to be all right. I just hope they've had a good hour and a half. It's not too long. We've kept it, 86 minutes or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. I just hope they have a good experience. That's all, and it takes them out of their lives for a little bit, and maybe just goes, oh, that was cool, nice.
Wonderful. And just before you go, are you on social media, and where can people find you to keep up with what you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'm on is Instagram, so it's Al. Yeah, so Al_Weaver on Instagram, but that's it. That's all I do.
Okay, wonderful. Well, congratulations with the film. As I said, you've been somebody who I wanted to speak to for a very long time, and I'm glad that I got the chance to. So you have a good rest of your day, and I look forward to what you do next, especially that sci-fi. I love sci-fi myself.
Yeah, man. All right, good to meet you, Mark. Good to talk.
You too. Take care. Bye.
Have a nice day, buddy. Bye.
You too. Bye.
Thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. Please follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram for more content next time.
She was an incredibly important part of my life.
Sometimes it takes guys a while to realise that they really love someone.
I'm here on the largest of the Balearic Islands, Mallorca, with the turquoise waters of the Mediterranean Sea, beautiful mountainous landscape, the thriving city of Palma, quaint little market towns, a growing number of luxury hotels. It's no surprise that the likes of Audrey Hepburn and Elizabeth Taylor like to holiday here. So come and join me as I take you round Mallorca.
Thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. If you like this video, be sure to click that thumbs up button at the bottom of your screen. And also be sure to subscribe to the Fan Carpet YouTube channels. They're absolutely free and so much fun too. Be sure to check out the official website, thefancarpet.com. Also, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to stay up to date with reviews, competitions, the latest news, and so much more.